Merry Christmas and happy holidays. Guys, today is the start of our 18th design session, if you can believe that. Ah, crazy, I know. Are you enjoying the 25 days of Christmas? I certainly hope so, because this guy, he's been a major player, right? You've probably seen the video of me decorating my tree by now, and of course, if you watched last month's design session, you saw all about it. But the reveal of my home is about to go up. I'm not sure if it's going up right before the design session or right after, but it's real close. So keep an eye out for that. And I'm really glad you guys are watching and following along. Okay, so today we are going to cover the subject of furniture placement, which is a super popular subject. Of the last 17 videos or design sessions that we've created, it's the second most watched video that we have. And so it's a subject people are really interested in. I said, okay, so I've already given them all the principles. So go back and watch that one so you get those principles. Today it's going to be practical. How do we take those principles and use them not just in a fake room that I've made up or someone made up? How about in real people's homes, in their real rooms with their real challenges? So I sent out an email and said, hey guys, the first 10 people that respond to this email and they send me their blueprints or floor plans or their pictures of their room, 4 different views at least, I'm gonna do their room and their furniture placement for them. So today we are gonna get to it immediately because we have so much content to go over. And I promise you, somebody in the next 10 homes I show you, someone's gonna have a home very similar to yours and have the same challenges and problems you have. So hold on tight, because you might be one of the 10 people whose homes and whose rooms were selected, and I'm gonna address them today. Now on this particular design session, you're gonna notice I'm on my computer a lot, but that is the tool that I use to do my floor plans. You can do floor plans for your own home by going old school if you want. You can use a graph paper where each square is a ½ inch or an inch or a quarter of an inch. You know what I'm saying? You can also download a certain app. There's all kinds of apps. And there's also the Udemy course. But we'll put a link in your PDF so you guys can go there if you want to, because you can actually learn from myself and Grayson how to do the SketchUp program, which is what I use. That's kind of my form of communication with my clients, and it's how I'm going to communicate with you today. So this is a case study of a project that we did, and many of you have already seen the videos of this. And I thought, you know what, we'll just use this as an example. So remember, the very first thing you want to do with your furniture placement is decide your focal point. Now, here's what you need to know. You enter this room this way. And as you walk into the room, of course, your focal point is straight ahead. That's this. But as you turn, you're gonna see that the main wall that you see is right here. That tends to be a focal point. You wanna make that look absolutely symmetrical if you can and as a focal point. But the focal point to the people in the room is the television here. We've established a focal point, 2 of them. One is this wall. That's what you want the furniture to look amazing when you walk in. But the actual focal point of what they look at is this way. So here's a sofa that can go on this wall. And if I wanted to do 2 sofas in this room, I could. I could do a second one here, turn this one around, and I would have a second sofa here. Now, that's not what I chose to do in this room, but you could. Now, once you do that, you get the L shape. But if you wanted to do an 11, you could go like this and make these face each other this way. Now, the reason I chose not to do an 11 is because I don't particularly, if I can help it, I don't really want to walk into a back of a sofa, which is what you would do here. You could actually do a U shape. Well, what's a U shape? Well, if you were using sofas, which I wouldn't, you would come this way and you would end up with the perfect conversational piece. And you can see here, I can move these down, but again, this is not ideal. So let me show you what I did. I decided to bring in some cabinetry, and these were ready-made cabinets that we could purchase from Restoration Hardware, and they were tall. It's a 9-foot ceiling, And this gave me, actually these are the shorter ones. I think this is like a almost 8 foot. And I ended up getting more this height, okay? So we put that in, and then I did a pair of these. So now I'm flanking either side of the sofa, and much more impressive first impression because now I've taken up all that space. And then I needed to have an ottoman or a coffee table. Now the one we actually ended up going with had the capability of being both. This one's kind of cool. It's an ottoman here, and this table scoots either direction, so that's kind of a nice option to have. I'm gonna bring these chairs over here. Why? Why did I choose 2 chairs instead of a sofa? Well, there's a very pretty view right outside this window, and I wanted to still be able to see through the window and not block it. I also wanted the natural light that would come in. So I put these, you'll notice that they are symmetrically balanced on either side of that window so that the space in between them is right in the middle. And then I'm going to put those right next to each other. And then I used a small table in between to kind of bridge the gap between the 2 chairs, and that gives people sitting here a place to put a drink, a place to put, you know, lighting, a lamp, which we did use there, and it just makes for a nice, easy, comfortable place to sit. Now we've created an L shape, right? Because these guys here and these guys here are shaped like an L, and they can talk to each other, and everyone can see the TV. But in order to create the U shape, which is always my first choice, I decided to bring in another chair, and in this case, I angled them. There's plenty of space here. You need about, I like 12 inches between my sofa and my ottoman, but some people like a little bit more. I just think that's comfortable. I don't have that long of legs, I guess. And then here's another table. I'm going to use another type of table. My end tables don't have to match each other, but I do like them to coordinate nicely with each other. So I'm going to angle that as well. So I know that I'm going to enter this room now through this hallway, and when I do, I'm going to see the side of that chair, and I want that to be really pretty. So do you see how this worked out? Now, in the actual setting, what we did was we created, I designed a coffee table that would be a hard surface, and underneath of it, 4 ottomans. What does that do for me? If I need the space, if I need the extra seating, it gives me the ability to put my little ottomans, and they were smaller than this, but you get the idea, over here. It doesn't have to be this way on a daily basis, but it can be for a party or at Christmas time or just any time I need more seating that's necessary. Now, what have we created? We've created a square box shape. That is the most valuable setting for your furniture that you can possibly do, and it gives you the maximum amount of seating. So the first member of the design sessions to respond to the email request for your rooms was Elena Manderson. Elena, I'm going to show you what I think we should do with your room. She did send me photos of the sofa that she's just ordered, as well as 2 of these chairs, which I think these are really pretty. Good job, Elena. Here is Elena's room, the shape of it. It's a great shape in that it's a lot to work with. There's not a bunch of windows you have to work around or whatever, but unfortunately the double door opening to this room is off-sided. It's not in the center. So here's my thing. You're going to take a look at this. Here's the furniture placement. I wanted to be able to walk into this door to a very open seating area. You'll notice here I created a U shape. Now, we have 1 sofa and then her 2 chairs that she has here. She has room to put in this nice size coffee table and 2 side tables as well. Now over here in this little alcove, I used a sofa table. That could be a piece of furniture that has drawers and cabinets. However, there's not a lot of space between this back chair and this piece of furniture. So if it was my house and if it was a client of mine, I would suggest an open, kind of a long, skinny sofa table kind of a thing. But what else would I put in this room to really make it look great? So I'm going to take you past furniture placement, and I'm going to take you a little further. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add lighting. Well, what kind of lighting can I add? You might have thought that I would do lamps on these two side tables, and I could have, and she could do that. Elena, that's a perfectly good option. I wanted to make a statement, an impression. I wanted to do something bigger than table lamps. So floor lamps, you guys have probably seen pictures of my living room. In my living room, I have 2 tripod lamps on either side of the sofa. Why? Because I want to elongate your first impression of the wall my sofa's on, because that's a focal point for me. Then, of course, down here I would dress the windows and I would add window treatments. So let me zoom in here and you can see I used simple window treatment panels within the walls of the alcove. If that window does span the entire space, then maybe indeed I would pull them forward. Let's take a look and see what that looks like. I'm going to pull it here. The only reason I would do this is if that's an entire alcove that is dedicated to a window. In other words, no drywall on either side. And why would I do that? Because you guys know me when it comes to window treatments, I'm very averse to actually covering windows. So let's see what else we have. How about an area rug for your furniture? So right here, I'm going to bring in my area rug and you can see the art that I placed on the wall. Now, this is a great first impression. You do something like that, Alana, and it will look amazing. That is how I decided to do this room. Now, the focal point could have been down here at the window. We could have easily put the sofa there, but here's the deal, guys. Look at the shape of this room. My space availability is this way. It's not this way. All right? Sound good? Okay, Elena, thumbs up. I hope you like that. Shall we move on to the next person? Okay. So Valerie says it's her family room that she's challenged with. She has been making some changes, buying some furniture, but she just doesn't know how to place the furniture to get the look that she wants. So one of her issues is she has this super huge sofa. And when I say super huge, this thing is like big, all right? It actually is a great sofa for a much larger room. So what should Valerie do to make this space feel cozy? What should she put above her fireplace? This is a family room, so remember, the focal point is always going to have something to do with a television. So in this case, I have some recommendations for Valerie. You see she has this really nice French doors here on the end of her room and 2 windows. She also made a note that she has not changed the color of her walls yet because she's taking my advice to pick paint last. Good job, Valerie. One of the things I see over here, she's got her television on a entertainment center and then 2 ladder type display shelves on either side of that. You also see too here that this family room is directly connected to a large opening to her kitchen. So that's an issue because basically she just lost one of her very valuable walls. So that's why furniture placement is a challenge for her. It looks to me though like when you walk in this room, you enter in to the place where you see your sofa, this big long sofa and this beautiful French door behind it, but the wall that you created this great symmetry is behind you this way. So we're gonna work on that. And I have a suggestion, and I'm not 100% sure it's possible to do, but if it is, I think it would be the answer. So Valerie sent in this floor plan, which was very helpful, and she has her sofa here now. I think this is an app she got on the internet somewhere. This isn't her actual shape of her sofa. Obviously, it's not a chaise and all that. But she did mention to me that the sofa is in 4 pieces, and it could be separated if we wanted to. So what I did you see here? This is the 2 chairs, and I thought to myself, I can just see my husband. If he was sitting on this sofa and he had to look past a chair to see his television, he would not be very happy about that. So kudos to Valerie's husband, because he must be quite a guy if he let her do that. So here's the thing, I think this fireplace is certainly a great focal point, and by bringing these chairs up this way to her sofa, look how this very oversized sofa is going to swallow up these 2 small chairs and then the TV back there. So here's what I did. I decided fireplace is my focal point wall, but when I walk in here, I want a nice first impression. So I changed her sofa and I used the wall that the kitchen is going in this way. Now if she wanted to, she could put a sofa table behind here if there is room, because sometimes that's a nicer, softer impression than just seeing the back of the sofa because it's a big sofa. But what I did was I took her sofa apart and I gave her, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. I took one of these out, pulled this one back over so she has a complete double-armed sofa, right? Now that makes the sofa itself smaller. If I had taken this actual sofa and I had put it in her room without taking that piece out, one more piece here would have made this thing where you couldn't even get into the kitchen. So there's plenty of room to walk around on both sides. So we've created our focal point now. I don't want to break up the room with those 2 chairs. And here's the cool thing, you can kind of see that my furniture is sitting on top of hers, of what she had on her layout. By taking those 2 chairs back against the wall that the television used to be on, I think that that's going to make her room feel larger. It's going to make that sofa not feel like it's kind of taking over a relatively small family room. It's going to make it all feel good. Now, you notice, remember she had those 2 bookcase kind of things here? I moved them over here on either side of the fireplace. And here's the big question, Valerie, and only you will know this. I don't know the size of your television, and I don't know the size of your space above your television. It looks to me like if it would fit, it would be a tight fit. But if it would fit, it would be amazing. Because your issue is this, you cannot put a television on this wall going into the kitchen. You cannot put a television on this wall going out to the French doors. You can only put the television here, which is why you did it, unless you can figure out a way, or maybe get a slightly smaller television, to fit it above your fireplace. If you do that and you take those 2 display shelves that you've already purchased, you already have, and put them on either side and fill them with accessories, watch the design sessions on how to accessorize, this could be a pretty cool looking room. So I have done the 3 things. I have identified my focal point. I have created a shape. And what is this shape? This shape is a U shape. And almost a square by the way this turns, but I've got the U going on. And it fills the space nicely. And notice here too, on this photo, she does have a very large ottoman that goes with this sofa. So she can put that here. It may be bigger than the one I have here, but there's also room back here that she could pull this back if she wanted to. And by the way, I chose oval-shaped coffee table. Let me tell you why. Because of walking into these spaces, I want you to have a real easy, comfortable path to get through. And anytime you have a round shape or an oval shape, you've cut off the corners and you've made the traffic flow much more comfortable. I actually used another oval-esque shape on the table between the 2 chairs. If I was to add lighting, where would I add it? Well, I put 1 lamp on the table between the 2 chairs. I put a floor lamp next to this chair here, and I can actually move this over if I want to, so that she's still, her husband or she has easy access to that French doors, okay? So now you've got some balance and some lighting. Of course you could put lighting in your ceiling. I highly recommend, and I'm gonna beat this dead horse, watch the design sessions on lighting. I think it's called Light Up Your Life Remix or something like that. It is an excellent one and you will learn so much about how to light your room. Now we're gonna add the window treatments, and look how nice that looks. You enter the room from here, and it doesn't, I mean, yes, it is all around this television, but that fireplace right there is beautiful. Now you've got a nice, easy access, very warm, welcoming room. And let's finish this off with an area rug. But there you go, you put an area rug under it. Now let me just tell you something, guys. We are going to have a design session specifically on flooring, and that'll have a big section on area rugs. For now, pay close attention to what I'm doing. I will teach you the principles of what I'm doing here in that particular design session. So stay tuned, it's coming up. So Valerie, this is how I think you could lay out your room and absolutely love how it looks, how it performs, and how you guys live in that space. All right, I hope I spell her name right, her last name. Her first name is Cynthia. She's from Washington State. Are you screaming up and down right now? I hope so. Okay, I'm gonna say it's Ingelgal. I think that's how I pronounce it, but Cynthia, congratulations. I'm gonna show you what I think you should do in your living room.
I start to wonder now.
She has lived in this same home for 20 years, and she says she has never felt like she's gotten the furniture placement right. So Cynthia has a great fireplace that's a huge part of the focal point in her room, as we talk about a lot. There's one issue with this fireplace that I have, Cynthia, so I'm hoping that maybe your husband's watching too, or that you're good with nails and drywall. I'm going to make a suggestion. Do you see how on the left-hand side of your fireplace you have a, probably, I'm guessing it's a 4.5 inch wall, just a regular wall of drywall that extends out and kind of creates an end for that fireplace to run into, but on the other side, it doesn't. And for me, you guys know, I'm a huge symmetry person, so if you can't have, you either get rid of the one on the left or you add one on the right. And what I would do is add one on the right. So that's the first of the photos. The next one is looking over the other direction. You see that you come up these staircase. So she has a view outside here. So there's a window, and that's always a nice thing. And then we go to this direction. This kind of shows us coming into the room where you see the staircase. Nice big china hutch over here. And then this wall here that's begging to be a focal point, I think. But there's also a beautiful view, and she says it's a Puget Sound, which is in Washington State, and it really is very pretty. And one of her questions is, how do I pick a focal point? I have this amazing view out of these windows, I have a fireplace, and I have a big wall. Where should my focal point be? So I am recommending that she look at all three walls as focal points of sorts. When you're walking up those stairs and the first wall you see, that is easily your focal point. Make that your wow wall. Don't make people have to turn left or right to go wow. Just have them walk in and go wow. So let's take a look at her blueprints, and she drew this up for me. And I thought it was so cool that I was able to bring all this stuff into SketchUp. You see here, I obviously did not pull the walls up. I don't have time. I'm doing 10 people. So it's very, very time consuming. So I'm trying to do this as a furniture placement only kind of a thing. So look here. You see, these are the stairs. Here's the wall that exists. And then here in red is where I'm suggesting she put the additional wall. So let's start by putting in our furniture. And we're gonna also try to decide, are we gonna do a U shape, L shape, 11 shape, L shape, or a square? So let's see what we did. I put in here a U shape, which is always my favorite way to do it. I also added a television above the fireplace if they want to use this room as an additional place to see television. If not, they could take that off and just make that fireplace with a beautiful piece of art above it. I brought in two nice big cabinets, kind of like I did on the project we finished in Solana Beach. And the reason I did is Cynthia had said she doesn't really need to have a dining room in here, because she already has a dining room, but she'd like some place to look at her beautiful dishes. She could basically have china cabinets on either side of her sofa. And that would create a nice, beautiful wall with symmetry on either side. And then over here, because I'm limited in space here, look at this. This amount of space is smaller than this amount. So I have more room this direction to do two chairs. This also has the amazing view. So I don't want to cut off the view. This chair here and this piece of furniture will sit behind that railing of the staircase, and that has a view of Puget Sound. This sofa has a view of the fireplace, so you're taking advantage of the views from every single location. And you'll see that I used different types of end tables. I often like a round or oval between two chairs. And then I just used a chest kind of thing here in case there's stuff that she wants to store. Yeah, let me just show you something while we're at this. So you see how she has the staircase over here and then this view with a fence out there. What ends up happening in rooms like this is this hallway almost creates an invisible, like, oh, I'm a hallway, nothing should block your ability to get through me. Well, yeah, but guess what? She just lost probably 20% of her room to this no man's land over here. What in the world is that? It's just extra space? No, we can pull that furniture out and use all of that space with her furniture. Just have to use it appropriately. I wouldn't use this one if you can help it unless you can get another one identical. But if you really want it to look balanced and symmetrical, and I think you do or you wouldn't be here, right? So what she needs is a pair of cabinets, not a single one, and not just one by itself. One by itself makes the room go like this. So now I'm gonna add some lighting. I put a lamp on that table, and right over here I put a lamp on that table. And I'm going to add the window treatments. So on both sides. Now you'll notice here in Cynthia's pictures, she's got window treatments. And Cynthia, you must have watched my window treatment design session because you've taken them to the ceiling. Good job. And you've got it off the windows. Isn't that amazing? I want to know, for how many years did you used to have window treatments that actually covered part of your window? Once you took that away, didn't that just make a huge difference? Now, you could make them a little fuller. So if that's one panel's worth, get a second panel and they're a little wider and they go into the window just a little bit. So you've got this huge window, right? So if your panels are this wide, it looks out of balance with your room and with the size of the window itself. So you need a little wider panels on the left and the right, but in the center here, look at this drywall. I often hang window treatment panels where the drywall separates the windows. When you do that, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna fake people out. So do 2 panels on the right, 2 panels on the left, and 1 panel in the center. And when I say fake people out, this is what I mean. Their eye is not gonna know that there's drywall behind that panel. They're gonna think that is one huge window of Puget Sound. So now I'm going to add the last element, and that is a rug and some art. And do you see how just bringing that art in, and this is all done with an 8-foot ceiling in mind. Look at how that just tied that whole space in together. So you can see here on top of her existing floor, what an amazing difference this kind of thing could make. And looking back this direction, yep, everybody has a view of the fireplace. Yep, it could be pretty sweet. All right, I hope that's helpful. Let's go on to the next one. Yay, Lisa. Okay, I'm not actually sure where she's from. She entered several rooms and I decided, of course I can only do one, Lisa, sorry about that, but I decided to do the one where she said that one of her kids is coming home from college for Christmas and her room has not been redone since she was 12 years old. So I thought, well, this would make a nice Christmas gift for Lisa Greenwood's daughter. So let's get to it. This is a photo taken outside of her daughter's bedroom. And look at these windows above the doors, these transoms. I mean, this is like almost a, I don't know, Victorian house looks to me like. I'd love to see the architecture on the outside. It's pretty interesting on the inside. Once you get in, take a look at that ceiling, you guys. Isn't that crazy? I don't mean crazy in a bad way. I mean, wow, that's pretty cool. I absolutely love the bay window effect in the room. And it's, you know, it's like your straight shot down. That's what you see is that bay window. To me, I'm gonna ask you the question, what's the focal point of the room? There's no fireplace, there's no television, but there are some windows, and these are amazing windows. So I'm gonna come up with something very outside the box. Not sure how Lisa's gonna like this, but I hope she does. So, by the way, don't forget you can communicate with me during this design session by using the hashtag #DesignSessionsLive. You can send me pictures and things, and if I can get to it, I will, but I love to talk to you guys throughout the design sessions. So take a look at these windows. She's got some cute little chairs in here that are kind of vintage looking. They might be reproduction or they might be antiques. A great table in the center. She's got some really nice furniture. But here's one of the things that I was noticing. This room is very narrow and skinny. Here's a chest of drawers that she has. She's even got her little crown. So yeah, it's been quite a while since the room has been done. So here's what really captured my attention. That is really a skinny twin size bed. And this girl is in college now. So Lisa, I think, wouldn't it be so fun to redo her room before she gets home? I mean, you gotta get on it if you're gonna do it, but a nice double or full-size bed. Full-size bed alone would just make such a huge difference and make her feel very grown up, and she probably thinks she has the best mom in the world. Now you can take a look here at the floor plan. This room right here with this bay window effect is the room that we're addressing. You know, some of you guys, you took pictures like I think on your phone or something, so the blueprints were like askew. So I had to go off of some of these measurements, and basically I'm not sure if she's saying this is a 10-foot wide window or a 10-foot wide room. I went with a 10-foot wide room. So if this room is actually wider than she said, then we're all good, because Lisa, you got lots more room than I think you do. These are denoting the walls, right? And then you've got this door that opens up here. I'm trying to make this a great first impression. I'm imagining your daughter coming home from college, Christmas time, she opens her door and it's, oh my gosh, and that's exactly what she'll do. I decided my focal point was going to be that window, and I was going to place my furniture on it. Now, I don't know where you live, Lisa. I don't know if it's cold there in the winter, but even if it is, it's okay to put a bed underneath a window. I've been doing it for years and it's fine. We all have heating, right? It'll be fine. She'll be fine. What I did was I placed a bed, this is a queen size bed, at the end of the room. Her bed fits here perfectly. So when you walk in that door, this is what you would see with those amazing, imagine the windows over here too, right? And that ceiling that comes down like this. I mean, I think that's gonna almost create almost a canopy effect in this room, which could be really effective and really cool. And it really draws your attention and all of your attention to those amazing windows. So the one thing that you will notice is the whole bed does not go into that bay window space. You want to keep this all on a straight line with your nightstands on either side. What you can use that space for, what I would use it for, is maybe some baskets behind the bed, and you could use that space for storage so you're not just losing it. That I brought those two chairs forward and put them at the end of the bed. I always try to do matching nightstands. I like that look because it's very symmetrical. Okay, now focal point for her is when she looks back at the door. You know how you had one chest of drawers before? I'm suggesting that you purchase two chests of drawers that either they coordinate. For example, I have buffets on either side of my dining room. They look the same because the finish is the same, but they're not the same piece of furniture. So if you can get two chests of drawers the exact same size, same finish, but they're not the same thing, that's fine. Otherwise, get two that match. But do you see what this leaves her? All this floor space here for changing and getting ready. She can put her computer on this table. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna add some lighting right now, 2 lamps. And honestly, you know how this thing comes down here? I might even put a little chandelier over the center here. Wouldn't that be cute over her bed? Or even out here. Or, I love this. I should have done it in the model. I'd put a chandelier over the end of the bed, and that would give this a really amazing 3D effect. Oh, Lisa, I hope you do that. And then I'm gonna add window treatments. So, all right guys, I just added the windows in here. Yep, a little SketchUp magic. Now you can see that first impression walking into this room with these bay windows would look amazing. Let's add some window treatments, and I'm suggesting that you do something on the sheer side that will cover these essentially, but you don't lose the fact that the windows are there. We can finish this off with a rug and some accessories. There's her computer. So now she has a room that looks so much more grown up, something that, you know, someone who's maybe close to 20 would love to come home to. And you know what? This also would make a great guest room as well. So that's my idea for you, Lisa, and I hope your daughter gets this for Christmas. You're able to pull it off. It's not a whole lot of stuff in here. It's just kind of weeding out a lot of what you have and reappropriating things in other rooms maybe, and then purchasing some new things to create a wonderful Christmas surprise for your daughter. Want to see who's next? Let's go. So what do you if you have an open space? Basically, when you walk into your house, you are in your house. There is no entryway. There is no separation of rooms, but you want the space, you like that open feel, right? But you also want it to be cozy, you want it to be separate. Well, that was the situation for Coralie. She's from the south of France, in Nice, and she says I can come visit her anytime, and I plan on taking her up on that sometime real soon. Coralie's story is that she and her husband and her son, they live in the home that was her mother's home for years, and their mother recently passed away, so they've inherited this house. And right now it's full of a lot of grandma's furniture. So Coralie is going to be getting new furniture, but she doesn't know how to separate these spaces to give any kind of focal point, because there's really not a lot of focal point in this room. There's windows on either side, and there's a big long wall, but it's like almost too big and long for one thing. So how do we separate that? And you guys may have, some of you who are not Coralie might have a similar situation. So let's take a look at how I handle this. You can see here she has yellow leather sofa and chair and love seat, it looks like. And she's got big pieces of furniture, a chandelier that's hung a little too high. Coralie will work on that. Her floor is tile. Now she sent me a piece of tile. She's going to change all the tile out to a white color. And over here on this wall is apparently, let me go to the next picture. This is where this is going to open up. They're opening up this whole space where you can see the kitchen at the same time. Over here, here's the entry door. You walk over this way, there's a doorway here, a decent size hall or wall right here. Let's take a look back at those pictures. I want you to see that so you know what I'm talking about. Right here, there's this wall space here. It looks to me to be maybe, I don't know, anywhere between 4 to 6 feet wide. So you got the entry door, probably a bathroom or a hall closet there, staircase here, and this little bit of wall here. Oh, and also take a look at this. There's her television in the corner. So the sitting area is here, television is over here next to the eating area, and then there's just a lot of things on the wall. So I'm gonna help Coralie kind of sort through all of those things in her space. So let me show you the furniture placement that I came up with. I actually separated this space really cool, I think, because I wanted to give you symmetry. I wanted to give you a focal point. Now you walk in the door here and you have a nice sitting area. So instead of having your eating area next to the entry, I moved the kitchen table or the dining table over into this alcove. You don't need a lot of space for it. It's the perfect place for it. And if this is your new kitchen right here, then that's like an easy shot straight into the eating area. So that was a no-brainer for me. Instead of making this wall my focal point necessarily, I put the whole sitting area here and I worked around the windows. And this is really important. You'll see that there's still a great entry space. She's got a first impression at the end of the thing here. But this now is like she was saying, how do I separate the space but still keep it open? I think I've done that here. This is a little further away than you might want for your television, but you know what? Where else can you put it? You can't put it in front of a window. And unless I move this over here where there's wall space, you can put the TV there, but then you don't have enough room for your dining set. So it had to be separated into two spaces. But let's take a look at how this comes together. Let's add some lighting. So look at this. I added a lamp on the table between the two chairs. We've got the coffee table. Now in this case, remember how I talked about an oval coffee table? And this is just kind of easy to get in and out of. We could have done a rectangle here. I just liked the feeling of an oval and a round. I thought it was softening for the room. You know, you've got the table. The table is, there's big enough space there that it could have leaves that makes the table larger. I like it being around. I like it having the chairs around it. Notice the way I put these chairs in, okay guys? This is really important. I like to have my chairs go into the corners when they pull out. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I take this and I straighten it out, which is I think how most people would think to put their table in there, then you probably have enough room this way, but this guy's gonna have a hard time pulling his chair out and in because he's so close to that wall. So you got the sofa table here, and honestly, this could be a chest of drawers. This could be like a buffet hutch where you could serve food. It's behind the sofa. It serves as lighting for both the dining room and for the living room. And it gives a nice view this direction. I just love the look of a sofa table with two lamps on it. Here's another thing you can do. Underneath this table, you could put ottomans that could be pulled out anytime you want to add to your, you know, this, here we have, look at this, guys. Here's an 11. So back to the point. How do you do your furniture and how do you decide, you know, you picked out your focal point. My focal point in this room is the windows, and it'll make sense in just a minute. But the lineup of the furniture is an 11. Do you see that? We've created an 11. Is that ideal? No, it's not. What's ideal is if you have a U shape. Now this will work, but a U shape is better. And a U shape could be in the form of a bench over here, but not really. It's going to be in the way of this. But if you have these ottomans over here and you can pull them over here, then you can still get into this walking space, and you've now given yourself a complete U-shape. Straight ahead, I kept a chest of drawers. Now, if you wanted to keep a piece of your mom's furniture, that one that she has is very antique and very heavy, and it's gorgeous. But if you want to keep that, that's a perfect place there. But you'll notice that I added sconces on the walls on either side of the piece of art. That, again, gives you light as you walk into the room. Those would be placed on the wall, and they would give a perfect first impression. And I dropped a chandelier over the dining table. Now, you have a chandelier. If you want to keep that one, great. It's very antique-y looking, and it's also very heavy, but lower it. The standard height above a dining table for a chandelier should be anywhere between 30 to 36 inches of space. From here to the base of your chandelier, no more than 36 and no lower than 30 under most circumstances. Let's see what the window treatments do. Bam, look at that. Now you see how these two lamps behind the sofa create a beautiful symmetrical look in that dining room. Now that's a great first impression. We've actually created a lovely living room space. Isn't that great? Look at that. And then let's just finish this off by adding the two things, rugs, art, and accessories. Now, look at that. We've got a piece of art on that big long wall. Now, one of the things I noticed in your place is that you've got a lot of pieces of art. I don't know if you've seen my design session on art selection, art placement, and wall decor. I have 2 of them, design sessions. Watch it and watch it carefully, because there's a lot of pieces of art that I see on your wall, Coralie, that are not, it's not the right shape for the right location. For example, the mirror right next to your front door. It's cute little vintage mirror. When you have a vertical available space and you're using a horizontal mirror, it just doesn't fit there. It's not the right shape. So this is where I'm recommending you do art. One piece straight ahead, one piece here, or a gallery grouping on this wall, and then do not put anything next to the door. Don't put anything on those little walls there. And just keep it clean, and then put your television here. So I hope this is helpful for you, Coralie, and I hope I'm saying your name right. So my best to you, and we'll go on and tackle the next challenge. Do you ever ask yourself who designed this place? Like, what architect thought this was a good idea? I bet a lot of you do. I know that that's a common thing to think, because sometimes you walk into a house or you buy a house and you think, you know, when you see it in the pictures or online or the way it's set up, it looks great, right? Well, guess what? They're not using a king-size bed in that room. They're using a queen. And guess what you have? A king. That's the problem that Romana Siddiqui had when she sent me her floor plans and said, Rebecca, please help me with my master bedroom. So between the bedroom and this little sitting area, there's a fireplace, and you walk through on both sides. How do I know that? Well, Romana sent me the video that she watched when they bought the house, and you know what? It looked amazing in the model, not so much in real life. And then here's a laundry room, which is great. You come down the hallway, she says it feels like a maze to get to her bedroom. There's a 5th bedroom here, then you walk in here. Here's your master bedroom. There's a closet over on this side, a closet in the sitting area, but right here, look at this. This fireplace that separates the 2 rooms. It's a see-through fireplace, and it's a gas vapor kind of fireplace. But look, walking space here, walking space here. Now, I have seen this done effectively in homes, but it's got to be a big enough home. And so she said, our master bed furniture, headboard, nightstand, literally comes right up to that fireplace, almost to the point where you can't even walk through to get to the other side of the room. So it's a problem. She kind of wishes she could take that fireplace out, but you can't. But I really think that I can solve your problem without spending a lot of money, but it does involve a little construction. I hope your husband doesn't mind my suggestions. Here we go. You walk in here, there's a doorway to the 5th bedroom, and she said that right now the 5th bedroom is not used for a child, it is used for storage. That's gotta go. because we're going to create a luxury master suite for you, Romana. So get excited. All right, here's the actual official door into the master bedroom, and then you get these closet doors. Here's what I think she should do. I think she should take the door off to bedroom number 5 and claim it as her own closet. Not this area. Do not put a chest of drawers and a dresser in here. Way too much furniture, and it's such a small room. I mean, let's move that over here. Let's close in this closet from this side and open it on this side. Then you have actually a sitting room. I definitely think that this should be Romana's and that should be his. I don't know why. It's just a thought. But what I did was I changed this wall, I took this door off, and I took this door off. Why? Because I'm recommending that they put a new door in right here. Take a look at this. Kids' bedrooms, up the top of the stairs, walk down the hallway, there's the laundry room, and knock, knock, mom and dad's bedroom. So this would give them some space before anyone walks into their bedroom, a little bit of a hallway. And it just makes this whole thing, without these doors here, they wouldn't feel like they were going from compartment to compartment. They'd feel like it was a nice flowing, moving space. Let's take a look at the furniture. There you go. This is what I'm talking about. Do you see how the nightstand literally comes right up to the fireplace? And that leaves a pretty narrow walking space around there. So that is a full room right there. Now, let's say I take and I add lighting to the bedroom. 2 lamps, that's awesome. What about window treatments? Yes, window treatments at the window. And now I'm going to also add art and a rug. Look, now this room, although full, it looks very nice. All right, that's the bedroom. Now on to this sitting room. Are we going to make it a sitting room or not? Let's see this. Oh, if I did that, then I could walk through here. I've got enough walking space around the fireplace. There's enough room here for 2 chairs, a table in between, an ottoman in between that, and a desk. So Romana could pay bills or get ready for the next day and do emails from this desk if she wanted to, or now that this wall is closed in, that could even be a television if they wanted one. So if they wanted a TV, they could put it there. Now watch this. I'm going to take this sitting room, I'm going to add lighting, a lamp on the desk, and a lamp between the tables. I'm also going to add window treatments. That looks nice. Look, now both sides. And then I'm going to also add a rug underneath in here and some art. So look at that. We've got an art piece, a nice big art piece. When you do, here's the thing, we're going to do a bunch of small pieces. Don't do a bunch of small ones in here too, because it just gets to be cluttery looking. Now let's take a look at this new space that I've created. So in here, here's a place she could put her long dresser and a mirror that goes above it. There's a place for a chair and a place for her chest of drawers. Here's how I do this, guys. You're wondering, well, how do you know which one to put where? This is furniture placement, right? When you walk in a room, the wall that you see this way, right? You open the door and you see this. That is not the wall for the tall piece of furniture, because that just gets in your way. That's the wall for a low piece of furniture, because your eye can go past it. So I put my tall piece of furniture on this wall, if it fits, widthwise, and my lower piece of furniture on this wall, because I don't want to walk into this piece of furniture that's actually making the room feel smaller to me when I walk in. Does that make sense? Hashtag me at Design Sessions Live and let me know, was that one you didn't know or did you know? And are you going to use it? Of course. In here, I could add the last thing, and that would just be a rug and window treatments. So look at that. Now, look at how I have created out of a space that Romana was like stressed out about. I got too much furniture, everything is like on top of each other, and it's just driving me crazy. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do. Yes, there is. It might take a little bit of drywall and spackle and paint, but you can do this. And just having the 3 rugs all connect with each other, look at how this, now you've created a bedroom, a little retreat area for the 2 of you, and a wardrobe room. How cool is that? We had over 100 people submit their homes to be one of the top 10 people to get a home done like this with your furniture placement. And one of the things I notice is a lot of people are ready and willing and can purchase new furniture. So if you are in the market for new furniture pieces, let me give you some guidance, okay? As you'll notice, there are certain things that work better than others. You probably see it if you watch these over and over and over again. Always a sofa, if it's a family room or a living room. Pairs of things work really well, like a pair of chairs, 2 pairs of chairs, so that you could do the 4 chairs facing each other if you wanted to, which is one of my favorites. Also, pairs of cabinets work really well, and pairs of tables, although I tend to mix my little side tables up. That's where I bring in some variety. But to get that symmetrical feel and the balance, I find that working in pairs is good. When I bought my first leather sofa, it was a sofa and 2 chairs facing each other. And if I put a table between these 2 chairs, it made it the same width as my sofa. That gave me the 11. It also gave me the ability to take the sofa and the 2 chairs this way to make an L. It also said I could put a sofa here, a chair here, and a chair here and make a U. A lot of times we buy furniture for a specific home and then you move and you find out your furniture doesn't fit. So if you buy carefully a sofa and 2 chairs, or 2 love seats, or 2 sofas, or, you know what I'm saying, pairs of things, you have a lot more flexibility in how you use them in your home. You'll also probably notice that there are things in here that don't work that well, and that's why I'm not using them. I find that a sectional sofa is very difficult to work with. It requires a certain amount of space this way and a certain amount of space this way, and it's a lot less flexible. So it might work in this home perfectly, but maybe not the next one. So I tend to stay away from sectionals unless I have an extremely large room with lots of space around it, and I have a lot of options of where I can put this. So let me just, again, during this design session, encourage you to go and purchase the original design session on furniture placement so that you can download those paper dolls. Let me show you what I'm talking about. There are 8 exercises for you. I'm just going to show you the first one. Here is a room that has been created, and it's got a lot of furniture in it. It shows you where the openings are, so your doors, you have to deal with that, where a fireplace is, and how you can do your furniture. Now here they've got the 11 going on, but what other options do you have? So we took that same floor plan and we created a blank version of it. So this is all scaled. If you take this furniture and you cut it out, you can play with it on here just like paper dolls and come up with some different options of what you would do. And then the third one is the same room with what I would recommend doing. If I was doing this as a project, this is where I took the paper dolls, I placed it in the room, and I came up with my version of it. So you've got the way it is now, the before, this is how you play with it, and then I give you the cheat sheet that says, and this is what Rebecca would do. See if you don't look ahead to the 3rd page. See what you come up with first before you try that. So if you guys download the PDF of all these paper doll kind of things and you play around with this, I promise you, when it comes time for you to do your own home, you will know how to pick a focal point. You will know how to create a conversation area. And you will know how to make sure there's enough space to walk all the way around all your furniture in order to get to where you need to go. So it was really interesting to me because as I was looking at her pictures, it reminded me very much of a home that I did, I don't know, probably 12 years ago. And so I actually have some after pictures. I only have a couple because 12 years ago we didn't have the kind of cameras we do today and we take a bazillion pictures. But before we do, let me tell everyone a little bit about you and your challenge. You are a homeschooling family and you cannot come up with a setup for your furniture. You just don't feel comfortable with it. You're ready to get rid of a lot of furniture and buy new, but you don't want to buy the wrong stuff, and I totally understand that. So I'm really glad that I'm able to step in here today and help you. One of the things you said you wanted was extra storage space for all of your homeschooling things that you could put papers in and things like that. So let's take a look at Julie's and we'll get specific. Here's the first picture. It shows that that staircase is a huge part of their room. It's an open staircase underneath. And you know the problem with an open staircase, you know what it does? It makes you fill it with stuff. Yeah, like a little drum set. I'm assuming drumming is one of your classes in homeschooling. Here's your entry door. You got a couple windows above that. It looks like you have wood, maybe wood floor or wood tile. If you'll notice here in this picture, it's just like the staircase. It's the iron with the wood railing across it. It's like a little pony wall that separates. So what she has here, she's done a good job. There's a window on the left and a window on the right with the window treatments as high as it could go with this vaulted ceiling, a piece of art in the center, and she has a sofa dead center in the middle of that. So she's already created kind of a symmetrical feel in this room. Here's the dining table, and you can see it just comes around the corner there. And taking a look at her staircase all together with that space for the dining room, and it looks like it takes you right on into the kitchen. So now let me take you to her floor plan. And here you see an overview, the double doors here, there's that little pony wall that she has, and then I put little red things here on the floor plan just to remind me to talk to you about her window treatments. Do you see how she has the windows on the left and the right? What do you guys see, and what ruins the symmetrical feel of this room? Do I see any hands? Hashtag Design Sessions Live and tell me what you see. Well, I'll tell you right now. The window on the left is much wider than the window on the right. Who thought that up? I just don't know. So I have a way, and I've done this a lot in my career, of mitigating that, kind of taking your eye away from that, and I'll show you in a few minutes. But the areas that I would deal with are the two windows, not construction-wise, but just address, and then this little pony wall. Then you walk in here and you can see look at the size of this doorway, the double doors. If you take that and you go 1, 2, the entry is almost, like the living room is almost double the size of the entry. It's a really small living room, and yet you've got all these kids and people in all the time. She said she can get rid of this little keyboard over here, which I thought was good. And this is a construction thing. If this were my home, or if you were a client, I would recommend that you fill in the under part of your staircase. There's not a lot of room under there, but it's enough to just call attention to itself. So I would drywall that in, and I noted it in red here. And then as it wraps around onto the dining room side, I would also put drywall on this side. Let me take you back to her photos and show you how it is not like that currently. See this photo? See how there's like it's not drywall, there's like a post here, and then it just runs into the wall. I would just close that in as best I can. Let's talk about a focal point. What is the focal point? You walk in here, you see the dining room and the living room at the same time, don't you? But this wall right here, that seems kind of an important wall to me because it's sort of the separation space between the two. And I can imagine right now with the piano there, it's probably not the first impression she wants to leave. She wants to get the maximum amount of sitting space here, but look, she's got the sofa so far away from this wall. And I'm not sure why, except maybe she's trying to keep this symmetrical on this wall, so she's pulled it together. That is crucial space that we can use. So let's now go over and let's put in the furniture. And this is what I put in her room. I created sofa, 2 chairs, and a bench. It's a square, you're right. Look at this. I am suggesting that she remove this wall altogether. That wall totally bugs. I would get rid of it, it's just dated. And that's not gonna cost very much to do that. Then you get a nice sofa in the center. Let me tell you the size of this. Julie, so when you go shopping, you will know. This is it's a 7-foot sofa. So that's the size that'll fit there nicely. 2 corner tables and a coffee table with a bench. This bench can be moved, it can be kept there to fill in the square space, or it can be left right over here as a side bench if you want easier access into this spot. Here's what I did here. I put a piece of furniture. These are actually 3 different bookshelves that are stacked close to each other. This could be built in, or it could be I know you have a vaulted ceiling, so that's something you want to take into consideration, but you want to keep your heights very consistent. And then around here, I added a table, and I made it slightly longer than the one that you had in here. You have, according to my SketchUp model, your table is about a 6 foot 2 inch table. Mine is a 6 foot 6 inch table, if that's right. So it's, you know, 4 inches longer, but more importantly, it's much wider. So I've got a 38 inch wide table, and yours was real narrow. So this will give you much better eating space. So here's what I did. I took the chair off of the end and off of the end, and I only put them on the sides. Now, when you guys see, and let's see, by the time this design session goes up, my Christmas videos will, the reveal of my home will either be just about up or coming up within a day or so, because it comes up, I think, the weekend after Thanksgiving. What you're gonna see is in my dining room, I have 6 chairs and no end chairs. Why? Because I wanted that walk-through space. The last thing you want is to have a chair that's almost running into a piece of furniture and be tight as you walk by. That's annoying, right? So lose the end chairs, and it will allow you to pull your table down closer to the wall. You'll have easy access from the kitchen, and you won't be bleeding into your living room space. But here's the important thing. Underneath of your staircase, I embedded a chest of drawers. You can do anything you want, and what that does is that gives you places you can put placemats, dishes, but also a lot of your homeschool storage can go underneath that. I've also got a piece of furniture over here at the entry. You can see the doors open up and there's plenty of room. There's a space to have a chest of drawers, and then above that you can put something. So let's take a look a little bit more at how this finishes out. We're gonna add lighting. The lighting on either side of here on these tables is great. Now you've got the dual lighting there. You could also do a light fixture, a lamp on that entry table. And then it looks like I didn't drop one in, but you definitely would want to have a chandelier or a light fixture over your dining room table. As we go on from there, we're going to add window treatments. Now this is really important. Look at how that brought so much more finish to this room. Here's what I want you to see. Remember how those windows were 2 different sizes? Yeah. What do they look like here? They look like the same size window, don't they? Imagine if the wall was pulled up. This window here and this window here are the same size. How is that possible? Because I am faking you out. Look over here. Here is my window on this side, my small window. I am making my window treatments go just into the window, just enough so that you don't know where the window begins and ends. So when you see that opening, it's like that. Now, when you come over here, I made these window treatment panels wide enough. So look, the 2 outside ones are narrow and the 2 inside ones are wider, much wider, like 3 times as wide. And look what happens. This goes just beyond the window itself. So again, this particular window treatment, I would highly recommend that you have it lined. If they're not all lined, even if you just want to line this one, and here's why. If you do a fake out like this, if the light comes through from behind, you do not make the fake out. You get totally disappointed. But if those window treatments are lined and no natural light can come through, like maybe you use blackout lining or something, then no one will know that that window is much wider than it is. And just make sure that it looks good from the outside. Yes, from the outside window, you will see some curtains into the window. Guess what? That's your neighbor's problem, not yours. You're on the inside and you need to enjoy what you're looking at. But this is how to get symmetry, and you asked, how do I get symmetry? How do I get more space without tearing down the walls? Get more symmetry by using your window treatments to do that for you. And right now we're gonna finish off with area rugs and art. Look, a nice piece of art here. Again, watch the design sessions on art placement. If I see any of you put a nice big wide horizontal piece above that sofa, you are going to be in such trouble when I stop by unannounced, because I will catch you. All right, above this piece of furniture here at the entryway, I put in a couple of really tall mirrors that are kind of interesting and decorative. And then over on this side, we've got 2 rugs, and one of them fits underneath this seating area, but still has walkway, so you're not half walking on rug and half not. And as well over here in the dining room. Alrighty, so I hope that's helpful for you, Julie, and I really wish you much success in your homeschooling. You know, I homeschooled my son, Scott. He can spot a garage sale sign from a mile away. He knows hot pink and orange very well. It's fabulous. Okay, guys, let's move on to the next. All right, this person says, my living room, dining room, and kitchen all make up one big room that I love. My design challenge is furnishing an open living room with such a big wall. How do I make this space feel cozy and warm while also being able to cohesively tie this open space together? Here's Kanisha's living room or family room, I suppose. It's actually a great room. So this is actually a pretty good sized room, but she needs it to be a great room, a kitchen, and a dining room. And she wants it to look good, and she wants it to be cohesive, and she wants some symmetry, and she wants. We all want, right? Let me see what I can do for you. Take a look at this. I love her floors. So you can see here in this picture that Kanisha's long wall just has her television on it. It looks like it's a good sized TV. There's some problematic areas in here, and this is one of them. She has her sofa facing the television, which of course, why? Because it's a focal point wall, right? Right. But look how close it is to the countertop and those bar stools. So she has to create this like hallway effect, but she's doing it with furniture, and it kind of is feeling stacked up. You can see over here, there's a nice wall. I actually really like her pieces of art she's got on this wall and her staircase. And then over in this corner is the dining room. Again, the dining room staircase comes up. See the nice dark cabinets in the kitchen. Love the floors. I think those are really pretty. So that's what Kanisha is working with. And she wants it to be cozy and well furnished, creating individual spaces and yet still keeping that open concept alive. This is her layout. My issue is, this is a long wall this way, but it is not long this way. So when you think of coming up the stairs, turning around and walking in here, what's your focal point? Well, this wall here in the dining room looks like it's important. You see the kitchen, but once you turn this way, you see, okay, well guess what? Your focal point wall is the wall behind you, which is not usually my favorite wall. However, the people sitting in this room need to look back this direction. So remember, she had a sofa here, and why is that? Where are you going to put your television? That's what determines her focal point wall, right? Television either goes on this long wall, which is what she has now, and then the sofa has to back up against the island. Here's the problem. Anytime you put a piece of furniture like this, you have to leave room for the walkway. So she just ate up 36 inches of space that's really valuable. So everything is lining up this way, including her island. So this room is getting stacked that way when her available space is this way. So I looked at this room, and this wall over here is kind of a little too removed. I mean, where would you put your furniture if you're going to use that for the TV? This is our only wall. But where else could we put the furniture? We're going to turn on the furniture, and there you go. I put the sofa on this wall here. Now watch, you walk into this room and the sofa is facing you. That's a nice first impression, right? Now look at this. This is one of those cases where the two chairs that you put here, the backs of them are important. You would not want to put a lazy boy here. You really don't want to put a lazy boy anywhere, but I know that you have to because you probably love him and so does your husband. You want to pick chairs that have lower backs and perhaps pretty backs. See the model that I picked in here? This has got a design to it so that when you see, your first time you see this chair, you're seeing it from behind. Do you know what a lazy boy looks like from behind? About as bad as it looks like from the front. All right, so look, what I did was I gave this space, each one of these chairs has its own ottoman. Aha, husband, you could sit here and get a good view of your television, and it's almost like a lazy boy, only everyone's happy. And then over here, we've got, got a table in between, of course. We've got a nice ottoman with a table and a nice long sofa. And look, it doesn't cut this room up. It's using the space this way rather than this way. Does that make sense, Kanisha? And then there's room even behind that to add a sofa table. And of course, you know how I like to do with sofa tables, I like to either put lamps on them or on either side of them. And you'll also notice here that by doing this, this gave me the ability to still have bar stools. You could even have bar stools with backs on them, pretty ones. But I don't think you can run those all the way across there because you're gonna run into that thing of it being too tight here. However, you can put one on the end and one here, and they can be moved around as needed. All right, let's take a look over here. This dining room is actually a good enough size that you can add a large round table, which I love. It's kind of a square looking dining room, so a round table is amazing. And this is a 66-inch round table. It houses 6 chairs easily. And look, a beautiful buffet on the back wall, because this wall is going to be important as well as this. So let's add lighting. Aha! We're going to add a lamp to the buffet and a really cool chandelier hanging over. Now I believe you have a light fixture. Yep, you have a nice light fixture here. Kanisha, it's too small. It's just too small. If you do something a little more grand, it's going to make your small room feel more grand. Does that make sense? If you need to keep this one, at least drop it, because it's way too high for over a dining room table. So drop that, and you can see here a nice big substantial chandelier. I mean, I think it looks pretty cool. So then we've got a lamp between the tables here. It's not going to block your view. I find that people usually have lamps that are too small, so you have to be careful when it becomes a room divider. All right, now look here behind the sofa. Instead of doing table lamps, I did tripod lamps. And take a look at what a tripod lamp looks like in my home. And it's just, it gives definitely balance and symmetry. So look, you've got symmetry here. You've got symmetry here. You definitely have balance here. And then over on this side, let's add the last piece of, well, we're gonna add window treatments right there. Okay, now just note that all of the window treatments I have used in here are the same window treatments. Why? Because I didn't want to spend the time to like do custom window treatments for you. I'm not suggesting all your window treatments look like this, although I think these are nice, but the point is made, right? It goes on, well, you're gonna have to go watch the window treatment design session to know where to hang those, okay? And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add the rugs and accessories. So look at that. We now have our television wall. We have a big, huge rug that everything sits on. It makes the room look ginormous. You could put ottomans underneath here. And there's a lot more accessorizing you can do, but I mean, this is pretty darn cool, right? I put art, because there is that one wall. Let's take a look back here real quick, right here. Once the window treatments go on here and here, you're gonna have some wall space left over, and you can do long vertical, or you could put them over here if this ended up coming over too far. It's up to you, because it looks like there's space there, and that actually might be a better spot. But you get the idea. Bring in the warm color there. And then over on this side, you'll see that I did a triptych. On the wall here. 3 really nice pieces of art with yummy color in them that take up the majority. Look, here's where the wall would come in and pull up if this was a real life SketchUp drawing. But look, this is your first impression. You get to the top of the stairs, you're walking in this way, and that is what you see. So Kanisha, here's your room. I hope this is helpful. I hope you do it, because I think it's gonna look amazing, and I think you're gonna love it. Did that bug just fly into my mouth? Somebody call the paramedics. Down to the last 2 people who are going to get professional help from me today for free. Okay, 10 bucks, but that's practically free. Okay, 2 last people. Are you ready? Drum roll. Joanne Brandenburg. Are you excited? Oh my gosh, Joanne, wait till you see what I have for you. Okay, so yours was a nightmare, can I just say? Here's why. So Joanne sent me 2 submissions, basically rooms that are connected with each other. And so I pulled up the blueprints and started playing with it, and I realized something. Your furniture is all wrong. That's the good news. That's the bad news. The good news is I can help you with it. And why it's wrong is you have it in the wrong rooms, in my never to be humble opinion. Okay, so let's get started. You walk in the room and bam, you are in the house. There's like, it looks to me like, if I understand this correctly, you walk into the living room, great room, and it's a big square or rectangle. And then at the end of the room is just this open kitchen. It's just like, whew, like it's one big room. And then they added on, they did a pass-through kitchen window at the end of that kitchen, and they added on a room back there. So one room is like a parlor that she does like crafts and stuff with, but it's also the dining room. I was just gonna do one of these rooms that I can't quite tell you to switch your furniture around without telling you what to do with the other room. So, let's just say that Joanne, you didn't win the lottery, but you got darn close today because I'm basically doing both of your rooms. Are you ready? Here's what Joanne's family room looked like. You walk in this room, there's a sofa on one wall, 2 chairs. She did a good job. She's got the L shape going on. It's got a piece of art up there. But there, bam, there's your kitchen. Straight ahead, right there. There's no walls coming, there's nothing to break that. It is one big, huge room. Then we go around down here, and I had a hard time just pulling these pictures apart and figuring out which room was which room. But here's that living room again. There's the entry door, and there's the window. So there's one window. And then they have the TV on this wall over here. In Joanne's living room, her living room is in the middle of her kitchen. And her parlor room, which is really cute, it has great French doors, and it has dining room, and it has a great bay window. This is her added on room, and it's a sweet room, but I think she's got her furniture mixed up. Here's what I think. I took the plans, I put both of them together, and this is where everything connects. Right here, this opening is this opening here. There's like flat here, but this should be connected to this. Here's your pass-through. These spaces are relatively similar in size. I'm gonna tell Joanne, I think you need to make your current parlor and dining room into your family great room where you watch television. And I think you should take that room that is currently used as your living room and it's got the living room furniture in, make that your country kitchen. It's a kitchen dining room combination. I just think you should, and let me show you why. So here's the deal. This is the current dining room. I'm saying let's turn that into a living room, and I'm gonna put furniture in there. There you go. Look at that. You walk in through here from the kitchen, and now you've got this great room, this big plain wall. I made that the wall for the television. It's perfect. You can't put it here where the window is, the bay window. You wouldn't want to put it on that little wall. And this big flat wall is like perfect for the television. She could put bookcases on either side and have all kinds of storage. Then I was going to say, let's put the 2 chairs kind of in the bay window area. And it kind of turns the chair so you got a good view of the television. This sofa has an excellent view of the television. You got a coffee table and a side table. And look, I was able to put a center line where that sofa goes down right into the entertainment center. See that? That's a straight line. And then as you come around to this area, see, it's one of those things where you've created a hallway and now this is unusable space. If that door wasn't there, we could have used this way bigger, but the door is there, so you have to deal with it. So I put a sofa table here that could have some ottomans if you want to, or a bench. And that's how I did that room. Now let's go and look at the rest. Lighting. I added some table lamps on this sofa table. This also could be, let me just say, this could be a chest of drawers against underneath that window. There's a window there. So there's your light fixtures. Then I'm going to add window treatments. Aha, look, the window treatments go on into that bay window. Look how pretty that is. That makes such a nice, when you're walking into this room from the kitchen area, look at that, that's beautiful. Rug and accessories, so look at that. This could either be your piece of furniture or it could be a gallery wall. I think I would move that over to be more straight, right center of walking in. And then look what I did here. Do you know what this is? This is covering up the kitchen pass-through window. Then you could put a piece of art over it on this side and you could put a piece of art over it on the other side, or make sure the art is two-sided, I don't know. Do something. You don't have to be living with that pass-through window if it is no longer makes sense because it's not a dining room, okay? Now, let's go ahead and address this room. So let's say we're now gonna put our dining room into the kitchen. Well, guess what? The only problem with that is that the entry door is right there. So we're saying you're gonna walk in the house into the kitchen? Well, you do already. All right, let's turn on the dining room furniture. Look at this. I created and designed a nice, huge built-in. You said that you might want to do a built-in. So I think you should. I put it in here. Oh, look at that. It's floating in midair. That's hilarious. I just now saw that. Okay, there. Now it's a little more grounded, literally. All right, so that's your built-in. The reason I love this is it's always perfect to have like a buffet china cabinet kind of thing near your dining room. Well, this makes such a great first impression. It's absolutely beautiful. There's places on either side for displays or books, but inside of there, all of your craft stuff can be in there, besides your china, your crystal, your dishes, your chafing dishes, your silver. I saw your dining table, it's all wood. I'm suggesting that if you keep it, you add 2 upholstered chairs on either end and keep the wood ones in the center, and maybe bring in some more upholstered chairs that you could bring in if you need it. Right here I have a pretty entry chest that you can have like linens and things like that, and an extra chair right there. Now look, there's an opening here, and there's the entrance there. But let's turn on the next layers. If we turn on the light, ooh, now that looks nice. So 2 nice big table lamps on the thing with a gorgeous mirror in the center, a cool light fixture hanging over the dining room table. That's impressive. Now, would you feel like you were walking into a kitchen if you walked into that? Absolutely not. If that was the first thing I saw, of course with walls behind it, I would think, wow, that's beautiful. What do you think? I think she should do it. Let's add some window treatments. So now we've got window treatments here, which just happen to sit right behind those 2 chairs. Do you see the planning of that? Yes. And we can add the last thing, the dining room rug, art and accessories. So over here, there are pieces of art these are reminiscent of art that's stacked against the wall, so you have a pretty impression there. You've got your table and chairs. You've got all your furniture together, a nice big rug, and look how the rugs all coordinate with each other. Not exactly the same, but similar. And then tell me, if you walked into this house, into this room, would you think, oh my gosh, Joanne, your dining room is in your living room? No, you wouldn't. You would think, wow, your house is beautiful. And after you finished eating and the kids finished playing, the grandkids or whatever, you could walk through the kitchen into this like quiet oasis where you can't hear the dishwasher running and no one is opening up the refrigerator door and ruining the light for your movie. Yeah, think about it. It could be amazing. And guys, I hope this was helpful for you. My point in this is to tell you this. Do you know what room I'm sitting in right now? You probably think it's my dining room because there's a dining room table here, a chandelier here, fireplace there. Do you know what room this is? This used to be my family room. When we bought this house, this was the family room. I turned it into the dining room. So there, rethink your space. It is time for me to reveal the person. This person, she submitted her information, her rooms, her pictures, but you know what else she submitted? She was in the top 10. She submitted a SketchUp model. And she's the reason all of these people got their floor plan done, not just by me drawing on top, but actually importing the blueprint and actually putting that's what gave me the idea to do that, because it's just so easy for me to use. I decided to go ahead and design this person's room. This is something that if people call us all the time and they hire me to do a 3D model of one room. And just so you know, if you ever want something like this done, it's $3,000 for me to design a room for you. I did that for our next person because she sent me the model, and it just made it so much easier for me. And I was really excited about her house, and I really wanted to help her. So in reading Carrie's submission, she says she's from South Carolina. She said that they actually they doubled the size of the square footage of their family room, I guess a year or so ago, and they remodeled their kitchen. So it was kind of a big deal. And she said that she's really struggling with symmetry and balance in the room. She wants to be able to seat 5 or 6 people for eating, but also a comfortable place to watch television and hang out. She's really interested in an entertainment center for her room. She doesn't quite know where she's gonna put it or how it's gonna, she kind of, I think she knows. It's gonna go on one wall, but what's it gonna look like? And the only things that she has to keep is the rug that she bought and a bar cart. Other than that, all new furniture, all new everything. So I took a look at her her plans and her pictures. I loved the color of the walls. Doesn't it look like a really soft pink? Guess what? It's not pink, it's beige. When I talked to Carrie, I said, God, I love the color of the walls. And she goes, oh, it's not pink, it was just the lighting that day. I thought, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we could work on that. She also sent a picture of the rug, but I also noticed the built-in behind it from Ethan Allen. I thought, that's a good inspiration. But as you take a look, the flooring is nice. Now here's the picture of what's really challenging her. It's a big room, right? We all wish we had room this big to have to deal with. She's got the opposite problem that most of you, and that is when your room gets too big, how do you create intimacy and have a, kind of a small town atmosphere in a very large town? Then we go to over here. Now take a look back. This is Carrie's beautiful new kitchen. Isn't that gorgeous? And she said in her thing, and when I talked to her, she said, I am so in love with my kitchen. I mean, it just turned out so great. But when I look back onto the family room side, it's like, wah, wah. I mean, she didn't use those, but I did. But I knew what she meant. So I look at that and I'm like, how do we pull and tie the classiness of that kitchen back into the family room? Have I got an idea for you? So, are you ready? This, drum roll please, this is the final reveal of the different homes that I have done some furniture placement on, and I really hope that my point of the 3 things you need to look at has been made clear and gotten across. Can anyone tell me? Number 1, write it down on a piece of paper. Identify your focal point. Number 2, decide on your shape. And number 3, make sure you have walking space. There you have it. She's got so much white woodwork. Look, she's got white baseboard on here. But look, you guys, Carrie created this SketchUp model, and it made it so easy for me to drop the furniture in and make it. You see that? Long wall of drywall, edge to edge. Well, here's the thing. This over here has to remain somewhat of a walkway because you enter the room from here, from another part of the house. I think this is either a powder room or a closet or something, and this is either a powder room or closet. Either one of them, this is a walkway. You can't get away from it. Bottom line, I wanted to design a built-in for Carrie. I thought, I'm just gonna do that for her. So what I did was I came in first with a pop-out that is stacked stone on the left from the corner. And over here, there's drywall. I'm saying this out loud so Carrie's husband can write this down. 18 inches of drywall on the right and then 28 inches of stacked stone. And in the midst of that, in the middle, will be the built-in. All right, are you ready to see what I did? So I decided we're going pink. And I know that's a big deal, Carrie. I don't know if you're ready for it, but I think you should. All right, ready? There you go. Here's how I laid out my furniture. Can anyone tell me what shape is this? And look, on the back side, there's that cart that she already bought and wants to keep. And instead of having it where she had it over here, I put it over here, just outside of the kitchen. Just outside of the kitchen, very close to the dining table, and right on the other side of where everyone's gonna be sitting and drinking, I'm thinking. And look at this. This gives me a place to put 2 more chairs. What for? For the dining table that has the leaves to get bigger so they can use it any way they want. Look at this. I put these chairs, remember I taught you on one of the other ones? Corner them in, and when you walk in the room, you're seeing it from the side. I like to see the legs from the side. Okay, so here's my big sofa. How big is this sofa, Carrie? It is 9-foot sofa. You can use a 9-foot sofa, a big coffee table, 2 nice chairs, and a chair and ottoman. All right, why didn't I do 2 chairs here? Well, because by the time I got the 2 chairs there, you're walking out of here and you can't, it's too close. Why? Because there's a built-in there. You want me to show you the built-in? Oh my gosh, I think you're gonna love it. Ready? Bam, oh yeah. That is a custom Ropes and Design built-in. Lots of storage under here, drawers, cabinets. The base is 24 inches deep, the top is 12 inches deep, places for art, accessories, botanicals. So watch, you walk in here, and I like this being angled, and I like this so you can see through it to look outside, and there's a table in between there. I love it. And look, the built-in looks amazing with that stone on either side, doesn't it? It's just kind of a neat touch Do you get an overall pink feeling from this room? I don't think so. Because this whole wall here is 100% white. And then watch this. Let's turn on some lighting. Oh, that's cute. Look, a very fun Sputnik chandelier over the eating table, the kitchenette. Now, as far as lighting, I did the 2 lamps, super symmetry. Do you like that? Bar cart, it's movable. Chairs, they're movable. Lamps, don't you dare touch those. Now let's add another element, shall we? I'm gonna close that down. Let's add window treatments. Oh my gosh, how pretty is that? Again, we just got rid of more of that pink paint. So Carrie's husband doesn't have to fret that Becky gave him a pink family room. It's not pink, it's called millennial pink, and it's actually a peachy pinky beige. Because you're probably wondering why I have my window treatments dropped. If you know me at all, you're wondering why, right? Because when the ceiling is in, the crown molding comes in. So my window treatments are actually up to the height of the crown molding, and that looks really good. One last thing that I have to show you, and that is, this is the other thing that she already owns. Oh, and that's actually what it looks like. And look at all the little millennial pink accessories and pillows and accessories on the coffee table. And oh, the accessories in the built-in. So, Carrie Root, what do you think? Is this the kind of family room you were hoping to have? I can tell you when I look at this and I think about what I saw in your pictures of your kitchen, this is a winner. And if I was working for you, this is exactly what I would do for you. I love the botanicals in here, the little touches of pink and peach. I think the pink would be pretty. You guys, let Carrie know what you think if you like this. And I just want everyone to know who did receive a room design. We are going to make screenshots of it. I'm going to send it to each one of you guys. We have your email because that's how we heard from you in the first place. And we want you to have these so that you can take these and use them. And for the rest of you, thank you so much for participating and sending in your homes. I know it's very personal and you let me into your life and I really appreciate that. I hope this has been helpful for you. Please watch this particular session over and over again if you need to. Just keep this in mind. Not only did I do furniture placement today, but I incorporated lighting, window treatments, art, and accessories. Those 3 sessions, if you've missed any of those in our past videos or our past sessions, I highly recommend that you go back and watch those because those subjects all tie in together. You could see how just knowing where to put your furniture, it looked good, right? But remember, when I added the lighting and when I added the window treatments and I added the art and the rugs, that's when it really came alive. Is that right? And if you have already purchased those, guys, the benefit of the design sessions is you can watch them over and over and over again. Watch them until you know them. And I promise, it'll make a difference. Alrighty, well, that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Let's see, this is the November design session. The next one will be in December, which is usually ends up being around New Year's Day. Stay with us because each month we go live with brand new content that lasts anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. Best deal in town. All right, you guys, I hope you're loving this. I love you. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.